And now I invite two of my friends, Allan and Ben, to come forward. I thought about introducing them, but I believe they are going to introduce themselves. Several of you recently read a news story. Right. About Ben, but let me allow Ben and Allan to introduce themselves and their unique Palm Beach Atlantic University story. Welcome, Ben and Allan.
Good afternoon. My name is Ben Colabella.
No.
Not take it?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Later.
My name is Ben Colabella.
Sorry, my name is Allan Voren.
We were invited here today to tell of our journey as PBA students, as entrepreneurs, and as followers of Christ.
So 3.5 years ago, Ben drove down to Florida with his family to start a new chapter in his life.
And 3.5 years ago, Allan was in Nice, France, boarding a Boeing 747 in pursuit of the American dream.
Coming to PBA was great. We had to adapt to this new environment, and it was definitely a launch pad for the years to come.
Now, it was obvious that both of us had a hunger for entrepreneurial success, and it was only a matter of time before God intervened and brought us together.
So I was now in America, had achieved my goal, but I really wanted to live that American dream. I wanted to start a business and just live that dream that everybody talks about. But you see, being an international student in America comes with many challenges. I can't work, I can hardly own a business, and I definitely can't start a business by myself. That's when God intervened and placed the right people at the right time in my life. Ben.
Now, before we talk about Allan's anomaly, I'd like to share a brief background of my beginning at PBA. As Allan stated before, I drove down here with my family, not knowing anybody, not knowing exactly what I wanted to do. Coming out of high school, I was running an internet marketing business on my own, and I wasn't making a lot of money, but I was making enough to satisfy a recent high school graduate. So I came here with that, hoping to learn something about accounting and to prepare myself for the business world. A few months into school, Allan approached me with a business idea, and I thought, I have my business on the side, I'm studying, I have friends, I have a life. I don't think I really have time for this. So, not knowing that I would crush the American spirit that Allan had inside of him, I turned him down.
Has anybody else in here been turned down before? Put your hand up. It really hurts, doesn't it? But I didn't give up. I pressed on to the goal. I took a step back and I analyzed my heritage. I looked back at my life and I thought to myself, what do I have, or what does my heritage have coming from France that could be profitable for me and for the country? And it just popped in my head. What about crepes? What about a thin French pancake filled with Nutella and fruits? Everybody likes them. The return on investment is amazing. So I thought, why not? I started doing the research, made my business plan, did all the work, and I was ready. Oh, I was ready.
So about 1.5 years later, meanwhile, Allan and I were still friends. We had business classes together. I say, you know what, Allan? I see that you have the business plan done. You did all the research. You did pretty much all the preliminary work. Said, hey, buddy, remember that crepe idea you had? Let's go for it. So we got together, we sat down, and we weighed the risks versus the rewards. And we found that there was a good amount of risks for an really unknown amount of rewards. But you know what? We were college students. We thought, hey, why not just do it? So it was that day that Allan and I decided to enter into the grueling food industry.
That's it. So for the first time, oh wow, you guys have the pictures, perfect. So that's a crepe, for those of you who don't know, French crepe. For the first time, we were putting into practice all the theory we had learned in class. And we made a lot of errors. We made a lot of mistakes. It was bad. But PBA, we learned. Yeah, we definitely learned. But PBA was always there at every step of the way to help us. PBA always had our back, from starting the business to getting our licenses to finding a food commissary. PBA or the PBA community was there to help us. And we always felt the need to give back to PBA, to give back to this community that had been so good to us.
The success that we saw in the first few months of operations was nothing short of a blessing. And that's when Allan and I decided that, you know what, it is time to give back. So we decided that for one day we would run operations on campus to give back to PBA in some way. We chose to run our operations to support a fellow professor and his sick daughter, and that day we wound up selling more crepes than we had ever sold in a single day before. And it was an amazing feeling, and you know that feeling you get in the pit of your stomach when you do something good for somebody else, and without them even having to say anything, you know they appreciate it. That's the feeling that Allan and I had and continue to have for the weeks to follow. And we knew that God was smiling at us.
So business was going great. We had catering jobs on the island. We were involved in the most popular green market in Florida. We catered events for PBA. Our cash flows looked great. And we felt like we had achieved our goal. In our eyes, we were successful. And we felt like it was time to move on to the next big idea.
So about 3 weeks ago, we sold the crepe stand. To a fellow PBA honor student. His name is Adam Cross. And you know, even though Allan and I felt like it was our time to exit this journey and begin the next one, we wanted to leave Le Corner Crepe, which means the crepe corner in English, in the hands of somebody who was A, capable of keeping the business running successfully and turning a profit, and B, giving back to the community and to PBA.
We can't express enough how good PBA has been to both of us. No, really. Not just from a business standpoint, because we learn a lot through our classes, but also from a theological standpoint. Ladies and gentlemen, this was and continues to be our journey as PBA student, our journey as young entrepreneurs, and our journey as followers of Christ. Thank you.
Thank you both.